So, back and better than ever, Antonio decided he was going to go up against a guy who was posting in his Facebook, and it has to do with the fact that you can't see Polaris from below the equator. Simple enough, right? And proven fact. So, this is what he brought up.
Rastro de estrellas desde el Observatorio La Silla, Chile. Oh dear, looks like that's Polaris.
No, that looks like a photograph, star trails, with a bunch of observatories in Chile below it. Can't really say that it looks like Polaris.
Mmm, it says here, impressive photograph of the pole star.
As if you can't get that translated there, Antonio. All you have to do is hit translate on Google Chrome. It says nothing about pole star on it. Stunning photography of star trails taken from the La Silla Observatory on the outskirts of blah 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 Chile. This type of image is obtained with very long exposure photographs using the rotation of the Earth.
Mmm, it says here, impressive photograph of the pole star.
Now, you can interpret that however you want to, but it doesn't say north or south or Polaris or Sigma Octantis anywhere. Doesn't say it at all. but of course he didn't stop there. Hold on.
Let's see where this La Silla Observatory is. It looks like it's 29 degrees south latitude.
That's right, homie. 29 degrees south latitude. Remember you said that.
That's south of the equator. But La Silla Observatory, you know, is part of the ESO. This is where La Silla is.
Yep. Keep digging, Antonio. Keep digging.
Oh, look at where the equator is. It's to the north. That means that this place is to the south. Look, there's the equator. Can you see the equator? It's right there. And that's south of the equator. So that must be north and that must be south.
You've convinced everybody that Chile and this observatory is, well, south of the equator. I think we all got that.
So it looks like you can see Polaris from 29 degrees south of the equator.
Are you sure about that? What exactly? What are you looking at in the photograph again?
Oh dear, looks like that's Polaris. Oh dear, looks like that's Polaris.
Okay, now I think we can pretty much all agree that Polaris is over the North Pole, which would put it to the north of Chile, which would put it to the north of the equator. I think we're all cool with that, right?
Let's check again. This is the observatory. Look, 29 degrees south latitude.
So therefore, if this picture was actually showing star trails around Polaris, then it would be facing to the north, right? Because this is the picture that you're using as your evidence. You're using this, you picked this picture out. Nobody else gave it to you. You picked this picture out. This picture, which is posted on many sites because it's an absolutely awesome picture. You picked this out, Antonio. Don't forget that. So let's just try and figure out real quick, which direction is this photograph facing? Which direction is it? Where is that swirl coming to a point? See, because according to you, it would have to be north, right?
So it looks like you can see Polaris from 29 degrees south of the equator.
So, Antonio, dumbass, sometimes it helps to do your homework before you make something like this. Now, I was going to plot this all out in 3D because it was pretty easy. I was going to use screen captures and Google Maps from above to get the actual layout of the location of all these observatories. But then I figured, well, how about I just search around a couple of photos because it'll pretty much debunk itself. Now in the photo that Antonio used, there are a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 observatories to see. Now it only looks like 6, and the reason why it only looks like 6 is because there's a big funky looking square one right below the main one that's on the hilltop there. You can see that in this comparison photo. And the funny part is from the comparison photo, if you look at the layout pretty much anywhere that somebody has a photograph of it, it's pretty simple to tell where all these different observatories are. The main observatory on top of the hill is the only one with a little small silo next to it, and that silo is only on one side. It's pointing slightly to the northwest. There's a housing area or some kind of administrative building. I don't know what's in there, but it's a building. There's a big funky square observatory building. Then there's a standard white one. There's one with an aluminum top, or at least it's shiny, and then several smaller ones alongside. Now, if you look at the Star Trails photo, the one that Antonio picked out, and is dead set that Polaris is in the middle of the Star Trails on there.
Oh dear, looks like that's Polaris.
Well, if you line up the things that you can see, which is very easy, this line of sight, or perspective if you'd like to go that way, is if you were standing almost directly northwest of the main observatory. It's the only way you can get the little silo to line up with one side of the square observatory, the other side of the square observatory to line up with the admin building, and then of course the sequence of observatories continuing on to the right. That basically puts us right down here in this, what I'm going to assume is a housing area, which is also downhill from the string of observatories, as you can see in the picture, which basically means that the center of the picture being the observatory with the shiny top, the distance to the center of the star trails can tell us pretty much exactly the directions that are involved here. So if you're looking southeast from the northwest, turning your head slightly to the right will point south and not north, you idiot. The star trails that you are seeing there are centered over the southern celestial pole, not the north. This is not difficult to figure out. You lying little idiot.
Hope you enjoyed that. Bye-bye. Mirror it, share it.
Yes, please do. Please mirror it, because this is just, you can't write this stuff. This is just too funny.
Plot it with spaghetti on a globe. Enjoy it.
Wait a minute. Did you just say plot it with spaghetti on a globe? Hell, Antonio, we're still waiting for you to plot out your coordinates from, what, from like 7 months ago. And I guess you're not backing your Globebusters theories anymore either, because I see you got your Gleason Mac back up. Y'all have a nice day.
Oh my god.